above average to even in some cases excessive in parts of the Northeast that are in line for more heavy rains over the next several days. All right, we had the tropical rainstorm Fred, recall, and had tropical storm Henri in recent weeks. In other areas, an almost daily dose of pop-up showers and thunderstorms has drenched the landscape there. They break down the numbers. New York City, Boston, Washington, D.C., all areas that have seen way above normal precipitation. All right, we could later then be talking about significant rises on some of the larger streams and major rivers in Ida's path. Some of the major rivers that have the potential to experience a significant water rise will include the Susquehanna River, both the main stem and the west branch, the Delaware River, the Lehigh, the Raritan, Potomac, Monongahela River. So people living along those unprotected areas of streams and rivers going to have to keep a watchful eye, pay attention to advisories as they're issued. Removal of debris along small streams and city streets ahead of this heavy rain could help reduce the risk of some of that flooding. Forecasters are urging people to avoid camping along streams, avoid attempting to drive through flooded waters. It could be a life-saving move to find an alternate route and avoid areas that are prone to flooding at times of heavy rain. Underpasses, low-lying roads, small streams. As of this past day, we had flash flood watches posted along, we're talking a 1,200-mile-long swath stretching from Louisiana all the way to eastern Pennsylvania and northern New Jersey. And they're probably just going to become more extensive. That would be the flood watches there in the Northeast. And to make matters worse, flooding's not the only concern in the Northeast. You're also going to have that risk of severe weather, including tornadoes, in part of the mid-Atlantic region from Wednesday to Wednesday night. All the conditions coming together. That's because you're going to have the combination of the cold front, the dip in the jet stream. Not looking good there in southern Louisiana. Officials there in New Orleans this past day said for all those who had evacuated, don't come back yet. Do not return to the city. New Orleans Emergency Response Agency said the city has still no power. They have no 911 service. Ida ravaged the electrical grid. If you have evacuated out of New Orleans, we request in all capitals, do not return until further notice. There is widespread debris. Power remains out. Emergency services are working to respond to those still in the city. We'll let you know when it's safe to come home. At a press conference this past afternoon, the mayor said that the city's communications were compromised. One thing that we also recognize is we still have the ability to send text messages. AT&T and Entergy are doing everything they can. As I mentioned, our people in the city, our residents, need to stay put. Power and communications are critical issues. Cantrell, the mayor, and New Orleans police chief also warned people against looters in the wake of the storm. There was some drone footage released this past day. Looters seen breaking into an ATM in New Orleans. Without power, this creates opportunity for some. We will not tolerate that. News conference held this past evening. We will implement our anti-looting deployment to ensure the safety of our citizens and ensure the safety of our property. And as the mayor also stated, because it's dark, because we're without power, we have to be vigilant. No reports thus far of widespread looting, but we will not tolerate that whatsoever. Fire stations are open. Police stations are open. We're all on the same radio system. If you see looting and you see an officer, flag them down and tell them. Still dealing with, when you combine Louisiana and Mississippi, still 1 million people without power. And the bad news was that it may be 3 weeks before power is restored. And we're talking the dog days of summer there. Highs forecast in the middle 80s, close to 90 degrees by midweek. Louisiana National Guard has activated 4,900 Guard personnel. They've lined up 195 high water vehicles, 73 rescue boats, 34 helicopters are in place. Local and state agencies are adding hundreds more. Jefferson Parish in suburban New Orleans knew of 500 people who said they were going to stay in the areas that were flooded. And they began sending out dozens of boats to try to get some of the... you've got that full army of boats that are out trying to get people out of the floodwaters there. Well, there's a look at the latest on Ida as we get things underway here on a Tuesday morning. Again, hope your week's off to a good start. Who we got checking in out of the box? Michael. Hey, Michael, good to hear from you. He said, glad to see you're feeling better, sir. Yeah, after my little stint. That was like, a week ago yesterday. Good morning to Dave. Captain Ron checking in here. Richard checking in from Central Florida. 81 degrees there tonight. Dale checking in from Jacksonville, Florida. Hello to Jay. Morning, Steve, and all the truck drivers out there. Stay safe driving to all the drivers. Let's keep Steve up tonight. Keep those phones ringing. Raymond says, good morning, Chief. Rolling northbound, hammer down out of Vegas. All right, Raymond, be safe. Hello to Tank, checking in. Happy Tuesday. Here in Gallup, New Mexico tonight. Headed west to Fontana via Phoenix. Everybody truck safe. Have a great day. James says, good morning from Ackworth, Georgia, where we're getting ready for some more heavy rain. Bidu checking in. Morning, Steve, in the Overnight Drive Nation. Hillbilly Tex is on board with us here. JS, morning, Steve. Beautiful night here in Watertown, New York. A comfortable 67 degrees. Everybody stay safe. There's our friend Mr. Q listening in. Mr. Quigley. Hello, Steve. Tim checking in from Columbus. Headed to Cleveland, then back to Cincinnati. Rolling through the Buckeye tonight. And we'll check in with some of our other listening friends coming up. As always, as we get things underway, it is 844-844-3388. The Steve Sommers Overnight Drive, live from the Hot Shot Secret Studios.
Live from the Hot Shot Secret Studios, the Steve Sommers Overnight Drive.
Are you having trouble sleeping? Are you tired all the time? Growing older is a fact of life. Our skin starts to wrinkle, muscles get weaker, and our energy levels plummet. If there was a product that may help you slow down these symptoms of aging, would you be interested? I want you to go to getonthegel.com. That is getonthegel.com. Watch this 4-minute video that explains more about this amazing product. Or call us at Youth Fountain HGH today at 513-472-0699 for more information.
Diesel Army is on duty 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Burning the midnight oil with the best diesel coverage. All the tech, all the torque. Diesel Army, where there's smoke, there's fire. For the latest news and event coverage, as well as feature and tech articles, sign up for the newsletter and don't miss a thing. Visit dieselarmy.com from the Power Auto Media family of digital magazines. Again, it's dieselarmy.com.
Dean Michael, the tax doctor here. Are you tired of those tax problems following you around like a dark cloud, always in the back of your mind, losing sleep at night? Call me now and get your life back. 888-557-4020 or go to mytaxhelpmd.com. Pretending they're not there won't make them go away. The IRS isn't going to forget. They will levy your bank account and garnish your wages. Don't wait for that to happen. I'm not telling you these things to scare you. I'm telling you so you can benefit from my years of experience. Now is the time to act. 888-557-4020.
Do you have a Dodge pickup and hate your automatic transmission? Of course you do. Levon Miller at Firepunk Diesel here, and we specialize in heavy-duty and performance transmissions for your 3/4 or 1-ton Cummins-powered truck. So if you're interested in turning your stock slush box into a towing monster, call us today at 614-733-3744 or visit us online at shop.firepunk.com.
And now, back to the Steve Summers Overnight Drive, live from the Hot Shot Secret Studios.
All right, let's see here. Buster Brown checking in this morning. Morning, Steve from Cape Canaveral. Let's see. Eric checks in from Lebanon, Tennessee, where it's raining. Cool, rainy 69 degrees there. Yeah, I think you're going to see a lot of rain. Light rain now, heavier rain coming your way overnight. Sean checking in from Cancun. Have a safe morning, everyone. Good to have you with us, Sean. Let's see. Hello to neighbor Dave. And he says, hey, Kim. Happy Tuesday. There's Eskimo Mom. Last night of vacation before it's back off to work. Dealing with some off and on showers here at the home 20, but 76 degrees and still rather humid outside. Dave said I got a soaking in Smyrna, Tennessee this afternoon. Made back to Pendergrass, Georgia, headed to the house. Hope all is well with everyone. Buckeye Boy checking in down in Ackworth, Georgia, 73 degrees. Got some pretty good rain today. Lots of thunder, but it's just steamy now. Got the grandkids coming over tomorrow to visit to give my daughter-in-law a little break. Stopped over there today to move some stuff and over there to keep it from getting wet and helped her pick up the pool stuff, secured the umbrellas, the tables, and all that good stuff. Yeah, first thing the 6-year-old girl asked me was, is Gigi, a.k.a. my wife, with me? Is Gigi with you? I guess that shows where I stand. All right, good to have you with us, Buckeye Boy. Jim checking in, morning from Forestville, New York. The weather's finally nice. Got some lower humidity levels here. Gerald said, Steve, I believe Interstate 10 there is still closed down in Louisiana. You might want to check on that. Yeah, they did have a stretch of 10 shut down, I saw. We touched on that last evening. All right, so thanks for all those checking in early on here. Let's just start off before we get to your calls. Some of the industry headlines. No one that has called this program, even after I mentioned it on Friday morning, and I mentioned it again yesterday morning, said they were planning to participate in this supposed shutdown in solidarity with the Australian truck drivers, or truckies as we call it. And someone many of you know and have seen and listened to, Tony Justice, who drives truck for a living, and also the singer. He kind of spoke out this past day. CDL Life picked up the story, some of the comments that he had posted apparently over the weekend. Now is not the time for drivers to voice their grievances with a driver shutdown. Yeah, he was weighing in via social media the rumblings of a shutdown today, August 31, in support of a similar movement among Australian truck drivers. Yeah, protesting some of these COVID vaccine mandates that many employers are implementing. But he points to the fact that people of Louisiana right now are in desperate need of truckers to bring food, fuel, other supplies after the devastation that was wrought by Hurricane Ida. Here's what he wrote on Sunday. Truckers don't shut down when our fellow Americans need us the most. They stand up and get the job done to make sure all those families impacted by a natural disaster have what they need to survive and rebuild. Many of those impacted are our brothers and sisters of the highway and their family. We put our issues to the side and deliver the medical supplies needed, the food, the water, the ice, the gas, the electrical wiring, the poles, the chainsaws. what they need to help restore power, generators to hold those impacted over till it is. We're no different than the Army, Navy, Air Force, and Marines when it comes to that. We're there when you need us most, and that's what makes me the proudest about being a truck driver. Yes, I get tired of the government over-regulating, but that beef is between us truck drivers and the government, not our fellow Americans who are in need. That little post was liked more than 2,000 times in less than 24 hours. Many comments supporting his message. There were a few that argued a shutdown is necessary to raise the awareness about these issues like vaccine requirements, freight rates, the treatment of members of the trucking industry by the public at large. All right, so there you go. Last week, the Biden administration, of course, asked private employers, as soon as they got the FDA approval on the Pfizer vaccine, ask private employers to require vaccines for all their workers. Some of the country's largest employers, Walmart, Disney, Google, Facebook, Uber, have all placed vaccine requirements in place for some workers. So far, the trucking industry has not seen any major push to force truckers to get vaccinated. But right now, I think timing couldn't be worse. Undoubtedly, those who were talking about this a week or so ago, planning to raise their concerns or protest today, were not aware of the dire condition that so many people would be in the places like New Orleans. And it's not just New Orleans. The media kind of focuses on that city in particular, but I mean, it's all of South Central, Southeastern, Eastern Louisiana. The devastation. If you've seen some of the video this past day, I mentioned that Al Roker was out and about as that eye wall was coming ashore when he described that as what you've got essentially is a 15-mile wide Category 3 tornado. And the devastation left behind equates to that, a 15-mile, the path of destruction along that eye wall. All right, rolling toward bottom of the hour news update. Let's get to the Jolly Green Giant. First out of the box again. What's going on, Jolly Green?
I want to say good morning, Steve, and I say good morning to all of the cartoon characters listening tonight. And I just want to say that my hearts and prayers are with the people in New Orleans. It sounds like that they got hit pretty hard.
Yes.
Again, not the first time. And I agree with whoever that truck driver, I think you said his name was Justin.
Tony,
I agree with him 100%.
Yeah, Tony Justice, If you've ever been to, he performs at the Mid-America Truck Show. And truck shows all over the country. And he's got several albums out, CDs. Nowadays it's CDs, right? Yeah, Tony's
right.
He actually drives truck for a living and does entertainment on the side. But I've had the chance to shake his hand a couple of times, but I think he's 100% correct on this.
Right, and I agree with you 100%. I definitely believe that we need to help our fellow man. I'm looking forward to hearing about whether everybody got all of the Americans were gotten out of Afghanistan. You haven't said anything yet, so I have talked to a couple of drivers, and nobody seems to know the answer to that. So I will be listening tonight, and that's what I'm going to be listening to.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I like I said there, I'm going to be listening to what's going on down there in New Orleans, and I had a feeling that we get hit hard again, and it's a crying shame, So that's really all I got to say tonight. I just want to say that I appreciate all of the cartoon characters trying to keep us all awake, and I just really enjoyed the conversation after your show and so on. And Sex Maniac is working tonight. And for Flash is getting a new hip replacement tomorrow morning, so he's definitely going to need some of the listeners' prayer. That's really what all I wanted to say tonight. I just want to say everybody have a good night and be safe tonight. So we'll talk to you later.
Thank you much, Jolly Green. Yes, and I've got answers to some of those questions. We'll get to the big headline. Well, the mission is over. The war is over. Yeah, the last military flight exiting Afghanistan. Of course, there are a number of hours ahead of us. That transpired Tuesday, wrapped up hours ago over there. Yeah, but the question of how many are left behind? I don't think they actually have a solid number. Some of the reports I've got here citing there may still be 600 Americans that have been unable to get to the airport there before this evacuation essentially wrapped up. But yeah, we will delve into that coming up. Right now, though, news break, bottom of the gallery. It is 844-844-3388. The Steve Sommers Overnight Drive, live from the Hot Shot Secret Studios.
USA Radio News with Dan Naraki.
More than 1 million people in Louisiana are still without power, according to Governor John Bel Edwards. He said Monday evening that electricity is practically non-existent for most people in southeast Louisiana and that 25,000 linemen are in the state working to restore power. Regional supplier Entergy says that it could be up to 3 weeks before power could be restored to some of the hardest hit areas by the storm. The company estimates that 90% of its customers would see power restored sooner. The Louisiana Department of Health has also confirmed that a second person has died in the storm. The department said in a Monday evening tweet that a man drowned in his vehicle when he tried to drive through floodwaters near I-10 in New Orleans. And the European Union has proposed new travel restrictions that could severely restrict travel for unvaccinated Americans. The body passed a non-binding resolution Monday that would remove the U.S. from a list of countries whose citizens can visit member states without additional coronavirus restrictions. This is USA Radio News.
Learn how thousands of smart homeowners are investing about $1 to avoid expensive home repair bills. John, a former non-customer, said, "My air conditioner broke and I had to spend $1,900 to fix it." Jeff, a customer, wrote, "My air conditioner broke and I got a new one at no out-of-pocket cost." Mary, a former non-customer, wrote, "My heating system stopped running. I had to spend $3,000 to get a new one." Lisa, a customer, wrote, "My heater stopped working. I got it fixed at no out-of-pocket cost. For about $1 a day, you can have all the major appliances and systems in your home guaranteed fixed or replaced with HSC's home warranty coverage. Call now, and the first month is free. If the lines are busy, please call back.
Call now, 800-238-9182, 800-238-9182, 800-238-9182. Again, that's 800-238-9182.
You're listening to the Overnight Drive with Steve Sommers.
Do you have a Dodge pickup and hate your automatic transmission? Of course you do. Levon Miller at Firepunk Diesel here, and we specialize in heavy-duty and performance transmissions for your 3/4 or 1-ton Cummins-powered truck. So if you're interested in turning your stock slush box into a towing monster, call us today at 614-733-3744 or visit us online at shop.firepunk.com.
Drivers, you demand that your equipment's reliable and dependable, and that also applies to your headset for communication. Well, our friends at Stellar Electronic have you covered. The Pluto Duo headset bundle is the best communication headset you can find in the industry. No matter the challenging environment you're driving in, the Pluto headset will make you sound crystal clear all the time thanks to their 99% noise cancellation. And the Duo's not only a stereo converter for the headset, but also a power bank so you can charge as you go. Learn more at StellarElectronic.com or visit them on Facebook.
At Hot Shot Secret, we share the science behind common diesel problems and their solutions. For example,
Hot Shot Secret Diesel Extreme.
Today's ultra-low sulfur fuels are cleaner, but they leave injector deposits, causing frequent DPF regens and low throttle response. Hot Shot Secret Diesel Extreme is a 6-in-1 fuel additive recommended for all diesel engines. It is formulated with the most concentrated detergent on the market, a top-tier level cetane booster, lubricity enhancer, water demulsifier, rust and corrosion inhibitors, and a fuel stabilizer. Diesel Extreme is a once every 6-month treatment that will clean your entire entire fuel system, starting at the fuel tank and traveling throughout the fuel lines and fuel pump, and finally completely cleaning your injectors. Hot Shot Secret Diesel Extreme improves your diesel's fuel economy and eliminates excessive black smoke.
Hot Shot Secret Diesel Extreme is available nationwide at truck stops, fine farm and auto stores, and online at hotshotsecret.com. Hot Shot Secret, powered by science.
Diesel Army is on duty 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Burning the midnight oil with the best diesel coverage. All the tech, all the torque. Diesel Army, where there's smoke, there's fire. For the latest news and event coverage, as well as feature and tech articles, sign up for the newsletter and don't miss a thing. Visit dieselarmy.com from the Power Auto Media family of digital magazines. Again, it's dieselarmy.com.
PureFlow AirDog, your leader in fuel air separation system technology. Our systems filter out water, particulates down to 2 micron, and remove all of the air out of your diesel fuel. This allows for nothing but pure, clean diesel fuel to reach the expensive injection system equipped in your vehicle. Not only do our fuel systems protect, they also come in a variety of flow rates to meet your performance needs. Our systems are compact and use OEM-style fittings for an easy installation. Learn more about our product at www.pureflowairdog.com and be sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Protect your investment with PureFlow AirDog.
The Overnight Drive with Steve Sommers. Live from the Hot Shot Secret Studios. Call Steve now. 844-844-3388. That's 844-844-3388.
Oh yeah, by the way, there are areas that are experiencing severe weather tonight, aside from the flooding rains that persist with what's left of Ida. Yeah, we've got clusters of strong storms. Central Iowa, kind of diving southward toward, from Waterloo to Des Moines. We'll probably be seeing some of these showers and storms overnight. More storm activity, northeastern portions of Nebraska. You get back into South Dakota, also dealing with some stronger storms. I do see a number of severe thunderstorm warnings coming out of those systems. No tornado warnings. In southern Alabama, though, that's where we've got tornado watches as the stream of moisture continues to feed into Ida. Off the Gulf Coast, tornado warning is in place for Mobile County and southwestern Alabama and east central George County in southeastern Mississippi. So right there, Alabama-Mississippi line. This cell will be near Gulf Crest at about 10 till the hour, about 12 minutes from now. Citronella at about 5 before the hour. That's the concern, again, with tropical systems spawning possible tornadoes. All right. Jolly Green asked the question, this report says roughly 600 Americans were still in Afghanistan as of yesterday, Monday. About 5,400 of the 122,000 people that the U.S. military has evacuated or facilitated the evacuation of in recent weeks were Americans, according to Pentagon officials speaking to reporters this past day. Now, they said approximately 6,000 U.S. citizens were in Afghanistan as of mid-August. That was according to a top official last week. Pentagon officials said the State Department would have an exact count of Americans, still in communication with the government workers ahead of the deadline. White House and State Department did not respond to request for comment by press time of this story, which was again this past evening. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken on Sunday pegged the number of Americans who were still in country at about 300, still there and wanted to leave. He said, quote, "We're trying to determine exactly how many and we're going through manifests, calling, texting through a list. We'll have a more concrete number for you as soon as possible. That was what Jen Psaki told reporters this past afternoon. Apparently, they say the count in Afghanistan fluctuates because they didn't have to register with the government when traveling there. Some who did register did not deregister when leaving the country. I mean, there were some official estimates of Americans that remained in the country as high as 15,000 earlier this month. That would mean thousands could conceivably still be there. Americans have been reporting to members of Congress, they tell us, they can't reach the airport in Kabul. And of course, the last government alert was telling Americans stay away from the facility. And if you're already outside the airport, to leave, get away. So that's, it's all in flux. We don't know how many are there. But the headline, of course, is the mission is over. The 20-year war has ended. As a gunfire erupted, celebration, firing guns into the air there in Afghanistan when the final flight took off by the end of the day. A headline from Drudge says, the end, ? Secret final flight. Another headline, it's V-Day for the Taliban, Victory Day for the Taliban. All right, let me get to some more of your calls here. What's going on this morning, Steve?
Hey, good morning, Steve. How was your weekend?
Had a good weekend. How about you?
Good. Yeah, I didn't have to work on the weekend, so that was a good thing. Got canceled at the last minute.
Good.
So, yeah, I'm about probably about an hour and a half west of Memphis on I-40, and it's been raining steady the whole time. Wind is about 15 miles an hour, gusting probably to about 25. So it's getting a little stronger as I'm getting further west. But I looked at the radar, and it looks like there's a lot of heavy rain coming towards I-40, the whole stretch. So that ought to be fun driving back home. The last thing those people need in Middle Tennessee is 6 to 8 more inches of rain.
I'm telling you, yeah.
Yep, and it looks like it's going to be here for a while, from what I saw on the radar. Yeah, my back trailer's moving around a little bit more than usual, but steady as she goes. Par for the course.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my wife's got family down in New Orleans, nephew, and got a small 1-year-old baby. And they actually evacuated to Memphis a couple days ago. I don't know if they're going to have a house. They returned back to New Orleans. They got hammered pretty hard. And my thoughts and prayers are with all those people. They're in that storm-ravaged area, and it's not over yet. So, talking about that the war is over, Steve. You know, this Biden administration, they talk about the war is over like it's the end of World War II, you know. This is absolutely just disgusting what comes out of the mouths of these military leaders, Secretary of State, Secretary of Defense. I mean, it's all propaganda. It's all lies. And we're going to be hearing about it for the next week, Steve. The media is already starting to spin it. You know, that this is the greatest evacuation and the greatest mission of all time in world history. I mean, what a disgusting thing to say, you know, especially after those 13 Marine Corps soldiers were massacred, along with a couple of hundred civilians, that this is the greatest success in world history. What a joke. It really is. I wonder what the 200 or 300 or 600 or 1,000 or however many are over there, because we're never going to know. And along with the tens of thousands of Afghans who have American visas that are still left there.
Yeah.
And we'll probably never know the number of them. I wonder if they're thinking that this was the greatest success in world history. It's absolutely just disgusting, Steve. It really is. I mean, I pray for those people that are stuck over there, man. They've got no way out now. No way out. Every journalist, every Western journalist is out of that country now. Every one of them. So we're not going to hear anything from Afghanistan anymore.
Have no way
as far as on the news.
No way
television.
of getting any real, true information out of the country now.
Nope, none. You're not going to hear a word, and those people are going to be slaughtered. They're going to be slaughtered. The Taliban's already hunting them down. They know who they are. It's a matter of time before they find them. And there's Americans, Steve, that are in hiding, that are living in fear. I know Senator Tom Cotton of Arkansas, his staff has been working around the clock trying to get Americans out of there. They've been texting, emailing folks over there. You know, the Taliban can cut off the internet service, I'm sure. They can cut off the cell phone service. So I really don't know how these people are going to communicate.
Mm-hmm.
You know, how are they going to, you know, if they're in hiding, what are they going to do? I just don't know. I mean, and the thing is, you listen to the White House, what comes out of there. They've been throwing around numbers in the past week. How many different numbers have they given us?
Right.
You know, first it was 15,000, then it was 6,000, then it was 10,000. I mean, there's just no truth coming out of there. I don't know.
I can't help but think they really they don't know what the numbers are, in all honesty.
Yeah, and I don't think we're ever going to know, Steve. I don't think we're ever going to know. Like I said, there's not one journalist over there now. I told you last week that one gal from CNN, I forget her name, she was threatened by the Taliban. She had to get out of there.
Yep.
She was actually talking and reporting the truth, what was going on the ground. And she had to get the hell out of Dodge. They were going to kill her.
Well, she was the one that was reporting like she looked like an everyday American, dressed like a normal person. And the next day, when the Taliban came in, she had the whole, the face covering, the burqa on and all that, because they, and then I think the day or 1 or 2 days after that, they literally physically threatened her.
Yep. She had to get the hell out of Dodge. But Steve, my thoughts and prayers are with those people, man. I just, this is just the greatest disaster to me of any president.